There is a key difference between what most of us are doing and what millionaires do, which keeps us from reaching our financial goals. Studying the behavior of millionaires can help you form strategies to acquire wealth. And I know what you're thinking. Come on, Kim, I've heard all this before. Read books, eat right, earn more, blah blah blah. Sure, those are true, but those are the habits of millionaires. This video is all about my personal 5 favorite habits and actions that most people ignore. Each one has had a major impact on my life, and I know they'll do the same for you too. And to be honest, number 3 is a hard one to implement, but it's also probably the most powerful. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Now, the truth is, you don't have to come from a wealthy family to become a millionaire or have financial freedom. In fact, only 18% of millionaires got their money from their parents. Just like many of us, they came from simple origins. They didn't give up. They built their wealth by working hard and picking up some of these tried and true habits. And you can too. Habit number 1. Simplify your life. Decision fatigue is a term for when you have to make so many decisions that your brain gets tired and your ability to make the right ones starts to go down. Because of this, you might start making bad choices, like impulse buying. I found that the more I stopped wasting mental energy on decisions that didn't matter, the more space I had to make clear decisions that do matter. I used to care about what I wore, and every morning I had to think for way too long about what to put on. But when I built my capsule wardrobe, which just means all of my clothes go with my other clothes, I can just grab any top and bottom and know they'll look good together. Or you can take it one step further and completely eliminate your clothing decisions. For example, Mark Zuckerberg wears the same gray shirt every day. He once said, "I really want to clear my life so that I have to make as few decisions as possible about anything other than how to best serve this community." Steve Jobs was also known for always wearing the same outfit. He was said to have owned more than 100 black turtlenecks. I've just learned that I have more energy to focus on what's important when I don't have to worry about making decisions that don't really matter. The less I made my life complicated, the more I got done. Habit number 2. Know the value of your time and delegate the non-essential. I didn't understand this idea when I was younger. I had a challenging childhood, so as an adult, I still had a do-it-yourself attitude. I'd rather spend a whole day doing something myself than pay $20 to have someone else do it. But a few years ago, I decided that I needed to value my time if I wanted to do everything I wanted to do. Now, I think that if I value my time at, say, $15 an hour, then anything I can get someone else to do for less than that is worth it. I don't have to do all of these things myself just because I can. It's easy to waste hours of the day doing things we don't like, don't want to do, or aren't very good at. I'm not very good at graphics, so spending hours of my day trying to make mediocre social media posts isn't the best use of my time when an expert can do the same thing better in an hour. So, I have more time to do things that only I can do, like making this YouTube video. Habit number 3, don't be afraid of failure. Or put another way, fail forward fast. Think of Thomas Edison. Edison's teacher said that he couldn't learn anything because he was too dumb. He lost his first 2 jobs because he didn't do any work. He didn't give up though. Even though no one had faith in him, he kept going. If he hadn't done it, the world would have been a lot darker. At the time, a reporter asked him, "What was it like to fail 1,000 times?" "I didn't fail 1,000 times, Edison said. The light bulb was something that took 1,000 steps to make. Most of the millionaires I know didn't go to school, go to college, and work from 9 to 5. They take risks that they think are worth it, usually when they don't have as many responsibilities. When you're young, you don't have much to pay for, like a house or kids. It's a great time to take a calculated risk and go all in on your business or whatever you're passionate about and want to do with your life if you can. I was following a very common path. I went to college and then I worked at a job. And I realized that wasn't the kind of life I wanted. I wanted to be able to do what I wanted with my time. I didn't want someone else to be in charge of how I spent my time. So I took that risk and left the company to start my own business. I thought that if I ran out of money, the worst thing that could happen is that I'd go get another job. Making that choice was the scariest thing I've ever done. But in the end, it was the best choice ever. It changed my life in every way. Habit number 4, be frugal. It's simple math. Less spending means more money. The more you save, the more calculated risk you'll be able to take because you'll have money to back you up. You're not getting by on what you make each week, and being cheap is the best way to keep your savings. I've said it before, and I'll repeat myself now. Being wealthy isn't about how much you make, but about how much you spend. If you keep leveling up your lifestyle, you'll never be able to save money. This is very clear in places like restaurants. You can cook your own food at home for free, or you can go out to dinner and spend $40. If you save $40 twice a week by eating at home, you'll save $160 per month, or $1,920 per year. We spend money on these things because we think they're important, but are they really? Nope, they probably aren't. Do what you need to do in order to live comfortably, but that doesn't mean you need to have everything you desire. It means having less of everything, from clothes and shoes to furniture. It's about maybe wanting more, but being happy with what you have. But we don't have to be sad because of this. Living cheaply is just a way of life that can help you save more money in the long run. It's okay to upgrade your computer or buy a new outfit once in a while, but it's even better to take the bus to work instead of driving a car. If you can save money, you'll get to a place where you can live a life of financial freedom. There are many ways to save money that won't make you feel deprived or bad about the way you live. Take Warren Buffett, for example. Some people say he is the best investor ever, and he still lives in the same Nebraska home he bought for $31,500.40 many years ago. Habit number 5. Surround yourself with inspiring people. Motivational speaker Jim Rohn once said, and it's often repeated, that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. It's important to make sure that these 5 people are truly inspiring. Take any movie, TV show, or book about a person who gets more and more successful. Most of the time, they start at the very bottom, with no goals and friends who all think the same way. A mentor shows up and tells them what they need to do. This is Gandalf from The Lord of the Rings. In Harry Potter, this is Hagrid. In The Queen's Gambit, it is the caretaker who teaches her how to play chess. This mentor sees the hero's potential and helps them get away from their normal life. Then, the hero doesn't answer the call because he or she isn't ready to start the adventure, or because their friends are holding them back. Eventually, the hero realizes what needs to be done and starts the adventure. This is also true outside of stories. We might not all have this 5'6" tall wizard knocking on our door, forcing us to start a business, but we can surround ourselves with people who motivate us and who we look up to and respect. When I worked at a job, I noticed that everyone thought they'd made it. They thought that, in the game of life, they had reached the last level, full-time employment. So when I said I was leaving to start a business, they couldn't understand why. Why do you want to stop? They would ask. Even though they were smart, I could tell they weren't happy at work, but they didn't want to leave, which always confused me. I thought that the more time I spent with them, the more likely it was that I would become too scared to try anything new. So I had to leave. Once I quit my job and started growing my online business, I started meeting entrepreneurs, digital nomads, and other like-minded people who were truly happy with their lives and making an impact on people. The truth is, and Aristotle talked about this, that we are the result of what we consistently do. Who we become isn't so much a result of external factors, as it is a result of our regular daily habits and actions. If you want to change your life's path or current situation, then adopting new habits is the best way to make that happen. And now that you've learned 5 habits that millionaires do in their own lives, you're one step closer to building that life of financial abundance that you may dream of. Of course, on the flip side of that are the bad habits that keep you poor and in debt, which is why you should watch this video next, where I share which habits are holding you back from your future. See you there!